Hey everybody, and welcome back to Pete the Mind, self-proclaimed big brain. And I want to say thanks for sticking with me. Today we're going to be checking out the new Juice WRLD and Weeknd single, Smile. Now, The Weeknd and Juice WRLD are two household names as of right now in the 2020s, and that's for good reason. They're super popular. So I'm not going to go into a huge introduction about them, but I do want to point out one similarity they have. And you might think, hey Pete, they're not similar at all. They have two completely different styles, melodies, even, choice of lyrics, and I might say, yeah, that's true, but they are similar in their uniqueness, and that might, sound funny, but really, they're unique in the fact that they were able to kind of blaze a new trail for themselves by popularizing a new melody. And for The Weeknd, that was, of course, this dark, claustrophobic, hedonistic alt R&B sound that you saw on stuff like House of Balloons, Kissland, Beauty Behind the Madness. That music today has become such a staple, but it's really The Weeknd who was able to popularize that, and now it's used as a benchmark for new popular alternative R&B. In the same vein, Juice WRLD was able to make kind of a name for himself in the late 2010s by popularizing what we know now as emo rap with his 2018 album Goodbye and Good Riddance. So since each of these artists is able to popularize this new sound for themselves, I think it was only a matter of time before the two came together to create a collaboratory single, and that's kind of what we got today, what I'm going to be reviewing, which actually is funny because Juice WRLD said he predicted it to be what would create a diamond record. So as you know, Juice WRLD passed away tragically in 2019 due to suspected opioid overdose, and that was really a loss felt by the entire hip-hop community, and that's for a couple of reasons. Juice WRLD, first off, like I said, was a pioneer of emo rap. And second off, he was one of the last remaining members who was still doing it well. See, the other two hard hitters I can think of are XXXTentacion and Lil Peep, who passed away in 2018 and I believe 2017, respectively. So Juice WRLD not only was one of the pioneers, but he was also one of the last guys doing it. So, Juice WRLD's estate came out just recently with his posthumous record, Legends Never Die, which I personally think did a nice job at kind of cementing his legacy within the hip-hop community and showing, his effect on the genre entirely. So whenever Juice WRLD announced, well, his estate rather, announced, a new single coming by him and The Weeknd, which appears to be a cutoff of Legends Never Die, that maybe didn't make the album the first time, maybe didn't fit with the sound, which I think it fit with the sound. Maybe the track list was too bloated. There are a couple of different reasons why it might have been left off the original album. I know that a lot of rappers since Lil Uzi Vert did it first with Eternal Atake have been releasing deluxe albums that are kind of almost entirely new track lists, or maybe 5 or 6 new tracks to kind of keep up with what we know now as the streaming era. So going into this project, I was really, really excited because, as you guys might know, Juice WRLD and The Weeknd are two of my favorite artists to come out of the 2010s for their really sticky melodies and different topics of lyrics and just different things. But what I had in my head just completely overshadowed what we just got because, man, I'm going to say it here first, this is so mid. See, I actually remember hearing this first Juice WRLD, I don't know what it was. It was a leak, I believe, right after his 2018 effort came out. I liked it then and I like it now, but there are a couple of gripes, big gripes that I have with this track. First off being The Weeknd. Guys, I just think he doesn't fit here. I think he could have done a lot better with his verse, and The Weeknd that I know is not what we got here. See, The Weeknd I know is the guy who created that claustrophobic sounding, almost uncomfortable R&B. See, I'm a huge fan of House of Balloons, Thursday, Echoes of Silence, everything that came off that trilogy mixtape. And then his 2013 effort I was also a fan of. 2015 he released a great album. 2016 he released a more poppy album, but that was also pretty good. I thought it was a little bloated, the track list. But 2018 he came back with another one of those really dark sounding albums. It was only an EP, but it was also a fantastic effort by The Weeknd, I thought. And now 2020 he came out with another great album, which it doesn't sound like what he's doing now. See, what he's doing now is releasing at least with this track, it's just this half-hearted verse that, it talks about a lot of the same tropes he's talked about before, but just he does it better otherwise. Take, for example, his 2020 effort, After Hours. See, he's talking about these same tropes. For example, he's talking about, love gone awry. He's talking about, missing these old connections he has. the wanting to get them back, but at the same time, he knows he can never get them back. And that's something, like I said, The Weeknd talks about a lot. He just doesn't do it very well here. What he does is he gives this half-hearted, really boring verse for Juice WRLD over what I consider to be a really boring beat. I mean, the mixing is done well. His voice sounds pretty against the beat, which isn't saying much because the beat, I think, sounds like shit. I mean, the only thing that I can think of that's redeemable about this beat is how it kind of goes into the end with those really light kind of synths that take it away, like almost like a string chorus. It's really nice in the end, but the beginning's boring, the middle's boring, especially with The Weeknd, and the outro doesn't do enough to kind of save itself from itself. I could see myself listening to it a couple more times. It could go on maybe like a playlist from him, but overall I don't think it's anything that exciting. I think it's really mediocre. I think with any Juice WRLD track it'll grow on you a little bit, but overall I can see kind of why they left it off the album. The album does a whole lot better at commemorating Juice WRLD. Here's nothing we haven't seen before. I mean, Juice WRLD does it well, but it's nothing new. Guys, I think I'm going to give it a solid 5.5 out of 10. I like it, but I only like half of it, and I like the end of it. I hyped up The Weeknd so much here because, I consider After Hours to be 2020's album of the year so far, beating other big albums like Eternal Take, and that Freddie Gibbs effort with The Alchemist, Alfredo was also a great album, but I think Weeknd did it better. As always, though, don't let my take become your take. Hey, if you think I'm totally wrong, you think The Weeknd killed it here, you think Juice WRLD did a good job here, you think this maybe was supposed to be on the album, hey, let me know in the comments. But otherwise, hey, like and subscribe. It's really appreciated. There you have it, guys. That's Smile by Juice WRLD and The Weeknd.